Hi everyone, welcome to YourPedia. This is Shubha. So today we are going to have our second live class for HPCL exam, and I'll be covering again 25 very important questions. Right. So same way I have taken, you can say 17 questions which are going to come in your examination from the previous years, and rest of the questions are which are expected to come in the exam. Right. And one more thing I would say to you is, like, whatever the question we will be discussing side by side, I am pointing out the rules, and there are going to be number of rules. So keep your pen and paper ready, and I am to mug up out number of rules. Even I'm going to ask you various questions in this PPT because I have prepared it in such manner that you need to be very interactive me throughout the entire session. Okay, so let's start it out now. This is our second lecture, and do, in case you have missed it out, the very first one, so do attempt those also, because in this way you will cover about like all the previous year questions, whatever the fields are, whatever the things are. 17 questions are going to come, and I assure you that nothing would come after, or you can say beyond such topics. Clear? Let's start with the very first question now. Like, what is the question now about? Now, the first question is like, you need to fill up the sentence completion. Now, I am just telling you again this thing, that sentence completion is going to be the major topic of your examination. Like, if you are planning to skip it out, don't even think about it. Sentence completion, and that too based on your preposition, based on your conjunction, and one more thing, based on your phrasal verbs. So these three things, and your sentence completion part is going to be done, and good 5 marks. I'm telling you out. Approximate 4 to 5 marks and basic idea, and it would be there. Now let's do this question. It's a very simple one, and it is based on your comparison, like comparison degrees there, comparative degrees there of adjectives, right? So this is on which the question is based. Now tell me, some movies are even dash than this. What would be there? A option, D option. Worse. A option, worst. Now see, very simple thing, which is the form? Like, it starts from good or it starts from bad. Like, it is there na? Good, better, best, right? And its replica is better, worse, and worst. Now the thing comes is, why you need to use here, like which form need to be there? Dan would decide like which form to be filled in the sentence, right? So which is the sentence form, Dan would try to help it out. So whenever a sentence has Dan, go for the comparative degree. Which is the comparative degree? Worse is there. So we will go for worse. And the ones who have given us out the worst answer, like some are saying Morley was there, one other person was there. He was telling us A option. A option won't be there. A option would be there. when it was the, right? The, you can say some movies are even dashed in this, na, they're talking about the movies are, you can say that is a degree. Whenever superlative degree comes with the and comparative degree comes with than, that you need to remember it out. Okay, so you can write it out that than comes with comparative degree. Now I have got two questions for you. Whenever you have comparison, whenever you're talking about like differencing between two persons or places, you use than and you use comparative degree. Like here I have given some simple example. That peach tasted bad. So this is a positive degree. Why? Because we are not comparing with anyone, right? This year's harvest was dash than last year. Two things are getting compared. So here would be comparative degree. Aunt Lynn said the berry crisp was the. Now you remember the would be there in superlative degree. So here worst is there. Okay. The old screw books looks like bad. It is also positive degree. This is there. The is there. So superlative degree. And here you just check it out. Than is there. Comparative degree. The is there. Superlative. And here also I guess this is a comparison. Simple positive degree. Than and again you can say positive degree. Right. Now fill in these questions. Like tell me the answer of this. I prefer milk dash tea. Radhika is junior dash Sarita. Like I've already discussed in my class. The ones who are attending it out, just tell me. This is also comparison is between two things. Now you will think like we need to fill it with than. But what would be there? Tell me what would be there. I prefer milk dash tea. 2T. Why 2T? Because whenever you have the word prefer, whenever you have the word prefer, whenever you have the word preferable, or you can say simply whatever the word is, whenever the sentences are there, words are there, they are ending with IOR, we will go for 2. Okay. So this rule you need to remember that what is there they are telling us about us. Whenever you have a sentence where you are comparing two things, but here prefer word is used, preferable is used, two would be there, and in the rest of the cases, what you will be there is than is there, so comparative degree. Clear? Now, same way, worst and worst, I've already told you the difference between comparative degree and the superlative degree. Do the second question. This is also based on your one word substitution. This is that question, and one or two questions hardly you will get from this area. Now tell me what is there. Choose the one which helps us to tell us the underline. Underline kya hai? Someone wrote and sent her a poem which was written by an unknown author. Like sometimes you say, no, there are some people who donate and they don't tell us that they are donating. Some kind of these things, like they don't come in front of you. So the ones who do not come in front of you, you get something and you are not told by whom you got it. So what it is? This is B option. Everyone is answering B. Very nice. So that is anonymous. Anonymous is something when you are not aware about, you can say who wrote it, who gave it, like same way you can note it down. Simply anonymous is when it is nameless, you are not disclosing anything. Suppose you helped someone, helped one of your friend and you didn't tell, like I have helped you. So that is your simply way of telling it. It is an anonymous one. Now you can note the other three words also, the meaning of these three, which I have left it out. Meritorious is obviously one you have heard about meritorious schools, the ones who are very intelligent, or you can say someone who respects, or you can say give reward or praise. That is meritorious, right? Next you have is magnanimous. Magnanimous is someone who is very generous, very forgiving. Word like philanthropist. Okay. This was discussed in our airport authority live classes also, if someone of you have done that exam also. So here also we used to mention magnanimous is generally for someone who is generous or forgiving, right? And one more word is there is androgynous. Androgynous is basically a biological word and which is basically based on a person who is partly male and partly female in appearance. Like there are certain, you can say, persons who have a characters of both male and female. So that is called as androgynous. Andro is for male part and gynous is which denotes female, right? So in this way, you can note it down the other words also. It would simply enhance your vocabulary. Like you can note number of words in this way. Now the third question. Tell me the spelling. Yeah, spellings is also very important part of HPCL because you generally get approximate of two questions from the spellings. Once they ask you the correct one and in one they are asking the misspelled one. So tell me which would be there. Shearing, rebound, fearful, astounding. Which is there? Fearful. C. What is the meaning of shearing? If any one of you know about it, just keep on in the vocabulary also. What is the meaning of shearing? Anyone? 3D option. D option, astounding. Astounding would be there. To shear off. What is the now? See here, shearing, rebound, and astounding. These three are the correct ones. This was from your previous year only. Okay, these are the previous year papers. Fearful is the wrong one. What you do is like beautiful. You write beautiful. So sometime if you write double L, that is wrong. So you need to check it out. It is single L or double L. So here it would be single L, and fearful is with single L. So this is the wrong one. Shearing is when you are, you can say removing the, you can say skin of the sheep. That process is called as the shearing. You can note it down also. And other words also you need to note it down. Like fearful, I've already told you, like person who gets feared about generally various things and all. Astounding is when you get astounded, like you get surprised, basically with the sense of shock. It's not a happy one, it's a shocking one, right? So these are the meanings. You can note it down side by side so that you can vocabulary also in case it comes to you, so you would be there. Yeah, shearing can be anything. It can be removal of the sheep, or you can say skin of the sheep, or in that manner. Basically, shearing is used for the skin removal. Now do the sentence which tells us which part is grammatically correct. Last year question, this is from the previous year paper only. Which would be there? Bring me that hot pot of soup. Bring me hot that pot of soup. Bring me that pot of hot soup. Or bring me that pot soup of hot. Now tell me. This is very easy. Generally, you know what? Now, one thing more. Now, what comes in your smart work in preparing of English is you don't need to practice such questions, right? This would come hardly 1 mark question. It would be there. And this generally comes on your basic idea. Like if you are just reading it out only, now you will get an idea like how you need to attempt this question. So don't practice such questions. Practice the questions like spellings. You can check the spellings. Vocabulary, you can check it out. Synonyms are going to come for 2 number and sentence completion. So what is the answer you're giving me? C option, everyone is ready with C. Bring me that pot of hot soup. Now here it is post soup. This is wrong. Bring me hot that pot of soup. That is also wrong. Bring me that pot of hot soup. This is right. Bring me that pot soup of hot. This is also wrong. So C option is the right one, right? So have a hot soup. So next we have a fifth question. That is also C based on sentence completion. Again, the sentence completion. And this is based on your prepositions. Last year question it is. Just mark all the questions, very important. They won't be get repeated, I guess. But yeah, you will get an idea like what kind of a questions they are coming. And see, these are very easy questions. Like in your examination and all that, you're going to get very easy questions. Now, what is there? You must always have faith, dash your parents as they know what is best for you. So faith, at, in, about, inside. Fifth is B option, in option. Right. Everyone is right over here. Faith in. That is, you should trust your parents. Why? Because they know what is best for you. Right. So here, same way. Now you need to do is, you need to understand where the best of use of prepositions are. See, last time also, in the last class also, we had done the practice of prepositions, right? Where at needs to be used, where in needs to be used, and where on needs to be used, right? So it is at is for some kind of, you can say, at the hairdressers, I'm at the office, I am at work. In is I am in Delhi, I'm in Chandigarh, whenever there is a large area or something. On is when obviously the pen is kept on the table, so it is on the surface. So you can have a highlight of it, like where you need to use at, in, and on. Like suppose a question comes from here. And similarly, I have got a rule book for you, like where you need to use all these prepositions. And these are very important. At would be used like where you need to use at, out of practice, out of reach, out of sight, out of spite. Now these are what I'm calling you out as a phrasal verb. This is the phrasal verb in actual. Okay. In, by, on. So whatever these are there, you can just have a screenshot. Basically, you need to understand what is the differentiation between all these, right? So we have already discussed in the class also. Now again, a spelling question came. So select the misspelled word. Now tell me which spelling is wrong. Acknowledge, acquire, acquaint, aquarium. Which spelling is wrong now? Just take your time and tell me which spelling is wrong. Acknowledge, acquire, aquant or aquarium? Now see, everyone is answering me C, D, C and D, right? Aquant and aquarium. Now, one thing you need to remember is whenever there's a Q, always you would be there after that, right? So you need to check it out. Acquire, you is there. Aquant, you is there. Aquarium, you is missing over here. So there is a slight problem in it. Same way, anyone who can tell me the meaning also, like aquarium is something where we get the water animals, fishes, and it's a transparent box. Aquant is, you can just note the vocabulary side by side. I've brought lots of words for you because see, we do not practice vocabulary. You cannot read the newspaper news, you can say dictionary now. All you need to note down is note down the words which have come in your previous years, right? So acquaint is make someone aware or familiar with, like acquaintance, she's my acquaintance or something. So it is for the relatives and all that. Fine. Next is acknowledge, like I acknowledge, I accept, I admit whatever my mistakes are, I acknowledge that. And acquire is when I'm acquiring certain skill, or you can say I'm acquiring the knowledge of certain new things. That is the meaning of acquire. So you need to understand what is the meaning also side by side. Whatever the words they are coming in the previous year, in case the setter just goes through the words or the previous years, he can get inclined to any of the word and can ask you the question, right? So it should be like you practice the previous years very briefly. Do this one. Now, antonym of brittle. This is also a last year question, previous year. Pick the most appropriate antonym of brittle. Just if you do not know the meaning of brittle, that is also okay. Just guess it through the elimination method, like emotional, breakable, resilient, and frail. What is the meaning? And I will let you know all the meanings of the word side by side. Tell me what would be the right one. Antonym of brittle. What would be there? Everyone is A, C, A and C, right? Okay. So see, brittle is something you can say that is breakable, something that can be broken very easily. Okay. So if it is about broken easily, obviously emotional does not have any connection with it, right? This is also points out to the breakable, something that is hard but broken easily. Like you can say the bones of old age people, that these are brittle only. Why? Because their bones are getting weaker by time and they can be broken very easily, right? Resilient is there. Now resilient and frail. Frail tells us about a weak person and resilient tells us something that can endure for a long time. Now what would be there? I've given you the answers like what is the meaning. So it would be C option, resilient. Resilient is someone who could endure the hardships and all that. So you can note it down. Brittle means something that is breakable, crisp, delicate, fragile, or something like that. Then you have brittle. Again, the antonym comes unbreakable, flexible, relaxed, movable, resilient, durable. And the frail is someone who is very weak, very thin. And the person you can say basically for old people. And then you can resilient, able to withstand or overcome, recover from difficult situation. That is the meaning of resilient, right? Do the next one, synonym of endure. Now again, a synonym came. Best pick the most appropriate synonym of endure. Synonym, tell me the synonym now. What would be there? Suffer, hide, endure. What is the meaning of endure? Endure करना क्या होता है? सहना. That is the meaning of it कि अगर मैं कर सकती हूँ कुछ सहना, hide, छुपना, enjoy, resist, मना करना. So what is the meaning? Resist. Why resist? Endure. Now you have to tell the synonym. Like what is the most accurate option? Endure मतलब tolerate, suffer करना. कि मैं ये चीज को सह सकती हूँ. I already told you. Endure means suffering. That I can bear it out. So that is the meaning of endure. And other words generally telling us hide. You can say enjoy, resist. Resist होता है मना करना. So you have to tell the synonym of it. Do the next one now. It is about the error spotting. Now, second favorite topic of all the examinations is error spotting, right? Basically based on your simple, this is very easy. Tell me which would be there. Whose name did you write in your diary that day? What would be the answer? It's very simple, very easy. C option, A option, B option. You can tell all the options, है ना? A, B, C, D सारे लिख दो. Now the difference is whose name did you write in your diary that day? Now you have 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. You just need to check like where there is a mistake. D part, 9th B part. Now see, this is very simple. Now it is question. Question के लिए होता है whose name. So it would be your C part is the right one, right? So there lies the wrong. C part जिसने लिखा that is right. Rest is all fine. Whose name did you write? Did है तो क्या आना था? Obviously verb की first form आनी थी, simple basic form आनी थी. तो right आया, wrote नहीं आया. That is why wrote is not there. In your diary that day, that is a preposition in your diary, and that day comes for the day. So that is very simple now. Okay, so it was also from a previous year question. So whose name would be there? Now this is also very simple. Again, the sentence completion, and it is based on your pronouns. That is your, you need to reciprocal noun, or you can say possessive noun. What would be there? What would be there? Let us forget dash problem for a while and enjoy dash. Now you have option. Let us forget your problem for a while and enjoy yourselves. Let us forget. Now just remember the thing is here us is there. Us होता है हम सब लोगों के लिए. There are many people there. So that is why us is there. तो अब सोचो us है तो क्या आएगा? इसमें से 4 options है. First option पहले ही eliminate हो जाएगा. B option, B option, C option. Yeah. Now let us forget our problem for a while and enjoy ourselves, right? So it is your B option. Let us forget our problem and enjoy ourselves, right? Next, you have the 11th one, again from the previous year, again the sentence completion, but this time the sentence completion is based on your tenses part, right? Ninth, Shivam, I'll just, again, when we will just revise it out, I'll just showcase it again, okay? Yeah. Select the most appropriate option to complete the sentence now. I know all about flying because I dashed to be a pilot before I retired. कि मुझे पता है कि सारी flying के बारे में, कैसे जहाज को उड़ाया जाता है, कुछ भी. A option, A option. We'll just revise the questions now at the end. Then you can have an idea, like wherever you got the problem, I'll fix it again, okay? So do it accordingly. Now just focus on 11th one. It is, everyone is answering A option. Yeah. So it is very simple. I used to be pilot before I retired. So I know all about flying because I used to be pilot before I retired. I was using is wrong. I use simple present आ नहीं सकता. Had used भी नहीं आएगा. तो I used आ गया. ठीक है. Tenses भी आपको बहुत अच्छे से करने हैं. Same way used किस लिए आता है? For your habits and all that, used to is there. ठीक है. If you are used to do something, you did it for a period of time. So in the past, we are performing something. Past tense, we also say used to express a, you can say state or something, the form of the question. So this you can have a screenshot where you need to use used to and where you need to use another ones, right? Next you have the pick the most appropriate synonym of influence. Again, do it out. Had used nahi aa sakta. See, again the sentence, I'll just figure it out for you. Now see, I know all about flying. मुझे flying के बारे में पता है because अभी retired, before I retired, when there is a, you can say there is a rule. Whenever you're talking about very recent topics or very recent events, before is used, go for simple past. Okay. So these are the rules which I have already pointed you out in the spotting errors also in case you're attending the classes and all. So here also I'm telling you out. Used to आ गया, before आ गया, बहुत recent event है, उसमें हम simple past लगाते हैं. ठीक है? Next is your synonym of influence. Affect, neglect, anger, or exaggerate. What is the right one? Affect, neglect, anger, and exaggerate. A option, A option, A option. Everyone is A option. क्या कोई और भी आएगा? Any other option? A option. Everyone is countering out A option, right? तो influence क्या होता है? Influence मतलब होता है when you get affected with something. So that is effect. Now they're asking the synonyms. Now you see in your examination, basically synonyms पे ज़्यादा focus है. Like in the airport authority, the focus was mainly on, you can say, antonyms. But here a good part of synonyms have been asked, right? So here pick the most appropriate synonym of influence. It would be simply effect, right? नेग्लेक्ट हो गया, मना करना, एंगर गुस्सा हो गया, एग्जैगरेट होगा, चीजों को लंबा बना के खींच के, जस्ट टेल ना कि किसी को नमक मिर्च लगा के हम बोलते हैं, कुछ बताते हैं, तो दैट इज योर exaggerate, right? So same way you can have the synonyms of influence also. You can have a screenshot: effect, alter, arouse, bias, change, determine, guide, impress, manipulate, and all these series go on. Okay, do the 13th one again the same way. Sentence completion is there, and that is also based on your preposition set. The way I told you at the start, sentence completion major part of your exam, and the topics preposition, conjunction, phrasal verbs, tenses. That's it. These are the topics which are getting basically covered over here. There is something strange and exciting, dash this man, about this man, of this man, into this man, are across this man. So everyone is pointing out about this man. There is something exciting and strange किसी के बारे में. So this is the right one, about this man. So same way before I have discussed कि कहाँ पे in लगना है, on लगना है, to लगना है. We have a set of prepositions, right? So basically just focus कि जैसे I ask you, this is dash 5 o'clock. So at 5 o'clock. Dash Delhi, in Delhi, right? Dash the table, on the table. So you need to comprehend that out कि कौन सी preposition कहाँ पे लगेगी. Okay? So here about also you can just argue about, boast about, care about, complain about. Whenever these words come, always about would be used, right? So you need to remember it out. Take a screenshot. About कहाँ पे लगेगा? तो ये सारे words हैं. Forget about, grumble about, hear about, joke about, quarrel about, talk about, tell about, write about, warn about. So everywhere about would be used with these words. So just have a screenshot and note it down. Okay. Next you have to use the same way I told you. Conjunction पे आ गया. सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन को तो कभी भी इन केस यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग, मार्क इट अप कि ये टॉपिक्स को हमने करके ही जाना है. इवन यू आर वेरी, यू कैन से बेसिक इन इंग्लिश एंड ऑल दैट, दिस इज जस्ट गोइंग टू टेल यू, टेस्ट योर बेसिक इंग्लिश. ओके, go for the 14th one. You gave numerous interviews, dash, none of the companies offered you a job. So although, unless, yet. B option, D option, A option. Although देखो, I'll just tell you the rules also. Just have an idea first where everyone, B is given. Although, see, you gave numerous interviews. आपने बहुत ज़्यादा interviews दी, लेकिन what is that? None of the companies offered you job. लेकिन आपको किसी ने job नहीं दी. So that is the question now. Now you need to remember is, now it is already a situational one and yet points to the negative thing. You gave numerous interviews, yet none of the companies offered you a job. Although basically, although and though aata na, that comes at the prior sentence, at the very start of the sentence. Yeah, it is accompanied by yet. So is accompanied by that. That you need to remember. Now these are the rules. Unless abhi tak. Okay, so here it would be basic question yet. Now you need to remember the coordinating conjunctions. For, he's working here. For, he loves the company. For is for the reason. And is when you're adding to something, adding value to something in addition to. Nor is when you are saying neither this, neither, or you can say nor that situation. Fine. But is when you're giving a contrast. Or is when you are giving an option. Yet I told you, basically it would be used with although and though also. And it is telling us about a contrast. Right? And then you have so. So is basically what is the result of that thing. That time we use so. Now what is the question? Yet and unless, when have to use, please tell. Okay. So see, yet is basically, I have tested it out in the last also. Unless hota, now you gave interviews, unless none of the companies. Now you say, you won't be able to clear the exam unless you study hard. ठीक है, जब तक तुम नहीं पढ़ोगे तब तक तुम्हें नौकरी या फिर यू कैन से पेपर क्लियर नहीं कर पाओगे. आपने ये चीज कर चुके हो, अभी तक नहीं हुआ. इफ आई से you were working on this assignment since 5 days, yet you have not finished it out, तो आ जाएगा आपका situational, and that is for negative. So yet is for something negative, and unless is when you are pointing out certain positive, or you can say a situation is there. Same way, just have a screenshot of it also, note it down कि कहाँ पे कौन सी हमारी conjunction लगेगी, right? Then you have is although and though are basically used at the very start, right? Although I worked hard, yet I failed, right? So in this way. So although is used basically at the very start, and yet is for the in between. Now just same way, like for is used, the lady called for security. And I told you when two things are getting combined, not situational, but reason के लिए. Or is that dog alive or dead? दो चीजें हैं, उनमें से choose करना है. Yet I told you we haven't finished our dinner yet. अभी तक हमने खत्म नहीं किया dinner. So whoever says so is a liar. जो भी ये कहेगा वो liar है. ठीक है? So so is for the situation and all. Choose the appropriate word to complete the phrase. Now same way, sentence completion and based on your phrasal verb. Phrasal verb I'm talking about is preposition and you can say the verb goes out. तो बताओ इसमें क्या आएगा? What would be there now? My performance in 12th board exam was a let dash for my parents. Now this is let off, let down, let go, and let in. These are the four ones. These are your words. And tell me what would be there now. Very easy. B option, D option. Let go होता है जाने दो. तो मेरी परफॉर्मेंस 12 बोर्ड में ऐसे एग्जाम की थी कि मेरे पेरेंट्स ने बोला जाने दो, जाने दीजिए. दैट इज रॉन्ग ना. दिस कैन बी देयर. लेट इन होता है किसी को वेलकम करना. मेरी परफॉर्मेंस ऐसी थी एग्जाम्स में कि मेरे पेरेंट्स ने मुझे आने दिया. दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट अप्रोप्रिएट. नाउ यू हैव टू थिंग्स. Was a let off for my parents or let down for my parents? What would be there? Let off or let down? Let down होता है जब आपने अपने पेरेंट्स को निराश किया हो, that I was not able to do that thing, right? So here it would be like I have noted down these words also, like you have let down your parents. I won't let you down, like in case you practice all the questions, attend the sessions, you will be able to score good number of marks. Like out of 17, I promise you 15 are nowhere gone. You can also score 17 out of 17. So in this way, let down होता है किसी को निराश करना, disappoint करना. So you say this way you have the phrasal verbs. Note down that list also. Okay. Next you have is same way sentence completion is there, and that is based on your context. Now, my teacher announced that fundraising was dash voluntary task. What would be there? B option, obligatory. See, now you need to understand all the four difference also. It's very, you can say very linked to each other, very common differences there. My teacher announced that fundraising was एक क्या है voluntary होता है अपनी मर्जी से करना. ठीक है? Voluntary is, it's not compulsory. Your action, like if you want to help others, that is a voluntary task. You can help, you cannot help, right? So that is up to you. Now you have four good options for this. Obligation होता है जब मैं आप पे कोई चीज को थोपती हूँ, कंप्लीटली आपकी मर्जी से. कंपल्सरी जैसे पूरी तरह से आपके ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है. कंपल्सरी जरूरी करना ही करना है आपको. दिस इज वेरी कंपल्सरी. यू नीड टू प्रैक्टिस सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन टू स्कोर गुड मार्क्स. मैंडेटरी ऑल्सो, दिस इज ऑल्सो यू कैन से कंपल्सरी. जहां पे वॉलंटरी आ जाएगा वहां पे कंपल्सरी कैसे आ जाएगा? You can say there is a kind of, you can say contradiction would be there. So here it would be B option. My teacher announced that fundraising was completely पूरी तरह से आपकी मर्जी पे वो डिपेंड करता है. तो it would be your B option, completely voluntary task. So obligatory you can note it down. Mandatory क्या होता है? किसी पे force लगाना, किसी को थोपना किसी चीज के लिए. Then you have obligatory, that is also for compulsion. You can say आप किसी चीज को मना नहीं कर सकते हो. So this way you need to note it down, the four basic difference whichever came in your exam. Now this was also the question from your exam only. What would be there? It is only 10 minutes past 10 in my watch. Where is the problem? It is about the error spotting. Now again the error spotting question came. It is only this part, 10 minutes past 10 in my watch. So you have four parts, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Where is the problem lying? B part, C part. B part में, C part में. B part में क्या problem है? Now also tell me the problem also. It's for your betterment only, like where is the problem? It is only 10 minutes past 10 in my watch. Where the problem lies? B part, C part. See, whenever you're not aware, 10 minutes is fine. 10 minutes ही होता है, minute नहीं होता, 10 minutes होता है. Okay, so it is 10 minutes only. Here it is, in my watch is wrong. Here comes by my watch is right. Okay, so you can note it down. In my watch is wrong. Time does not exist inside your watch, neither on the surface. On my watch भी नहीं होगा. Time runs alongside the watch, therefore it must be by my watch. What is the time? By your watch. What is the time? By, you can say, by your side. So this is the thing you need to remember, and this is a very general question. In case you ask your friends and family also कि कितना time हुआ है, so what is the time? By your watch. Do the 18th one. Again, it is your error spotting only, right? So you have same case, error spotting is there. Third or fourth good question is there from error spotting. It is the most beautiful painting in the gallery. So very simple. Basically, it is based on your adjectives part, the degrees of adjectives, right? So you need to remember the degrees also. Just go through a look, have a look. Whenever in your junior classes, you had a list of it, like where you used to you have the degrees of adjectives. Go through that. Now it is a most beautiful painting in the gallery or no error. Now where it is the arrow? C part, C part, C part, C part. Everyone is pointing out C part, right? Why it is now? Now at one side they are telling us most. मतलब most किसके लिए होता है? Superlative degree है. In the gallery, मतलब सारी चीजों में तो we use the superlative degree, right? Dan के साथ लगता था. What was used with Dan? Which degree was used? We had done this out at the very start. कौन सा था? Dan के साथ कौन सी डिग्री थी? Tell me fast. द के साथ हो गई सुपरलेटिव डिग्री, दैन के साथ कंपैरेटिव, राइट? दैन के साथ कंपैरेटिव है एंड हेयर इट वुड बी, तो फिर क्या आएगा? सुपरलेटिव डिग्री के साथ हमेशा द लगता है. आर्टिकल प्रॉब्लम इज देयर. इट इज द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल painting in the gallery, right? So that is simple. You need to remember it is the most. The is the right usage of it. So article A and the, I'm repeating it out. A is for article, that is something indefinite. And is also for indefinite, but it has consonant sound, it has vowel sound, right? And the is used whenever you have certain kind of a fixed things. Like I have told you, Achha, tell me, dash university, dash sun. Let's do some of the questions on articles also. I'll give you a sentence. Dash Mars is the fourth, or you can say is the fourth planet around dash sun in the solar system, right? So this is very important one. This would practice your whole set. Now first tell me dash university. What would be there? Write it down sentence. What would be there? Dash Mars is the fourth planet around dash sun in the solar system. तो Mars के आगे क्या लगेगा? कौन सा आर्टिकल लगेगा? A and the में से या कोई भी नहीं लगेगा? Sun के आगे कौन सा आर्टिकल लगेगा या कोई भी नहीं लगेगा? The university, an university, a university. Very good. Now just consider it out. That is why I asked you. क्या आएगा इसमें? University है. I told you A is for singular thing, indefinite thing, and you can say consonant sound. Plus an is used for A, I, E, O, U. Vowel sound के साथ. पर इसमें university में य की sound है. तो a university होगा. Right? It is a university. Now tell me what would be there with dash sun. Now this is a question only. Dash Mars is the fourth planet around dash sun. The Mars, very good. Is this right? Absolutely wrong. Nothing would come. With planets, you have to use nothing. कुछ भी नहीं आता, ठीक है? So there would be nothing used with the planet's name. Earth है, Mars है, कोई भी आपके आ जाते हैं. Your planets and all that. You name any. No article would be used over there. Sun के आगे क्या आएगा? Now tell me that. Sun के आगे dash sun. Tell me fast. Which article would be used with sun? Speak up. No article. The sun. Right. So just remember, planets के साथ हम कोई article नहीं लगाते हैं, but with unique things like 7, you can say sun is there, moon is there, 7 wonders are there. So we use the article the. So this was all like where the articles even need to be used. So you need to understand that also. That is very important for you. Okay. Is it the sun, the moon? That's already written over here. Superlative degree के साथ, newspapers के name के साथ. I can ask you one more thing. One more question is there. Tell me. Dash you can say gold, silver जो भी आपके आते हैं. Material noun आता है. उसके साथ कौन सा article लगता है? Tell me. Which article is used with gold, silver, you can say brass and aluminium, any of the metal is there. So which of the article would be used? A, an, or the, or nothing? The gold. No article with gold, right? No article with gold. With material nouns, nothing need to be used. So you need to understand where the article needs to be used, where is the right usage. No article is used. Basically, the is for the definite things. Gold तो biscuit में भी हो सकता है, silver में उसमें भी हो सकता है, chains में, rings में, lots of things to be used, right? तो उसमें नहीं होगा. Now coming back to the question, let's do again the error spotting. Now this is also based on the rules. Just remember it out, and this is very important. I guess hardly a few would be able to do it. Now see, I spoke a line, hardly a few would be able to answer it, right? I told this thing. So a few का मतलब क्या था? मैंने few क्यों नहीं बोला? Few था कि कोई भी नहीं बोल पाएगा. और hardly क्या था? Hardly is already negative. दो नेगेटिव इकट्ठे नहीं आ सकते थे. That is why hardly के साथ पॉजिटिव वाला a few आएगा. So whenever you speak also ना, try to speak in the correct way. Third is wrong. To beg from door to door. Why? बाकी बोलो कहाँ पे गलती है? His father would rather die than to beg from door to door. What is wrong over here? It's very important and very easy one also. Like if you have done the rules and one, then you will be able to comprehend it. First part, his father would, क्या गलती है? Beg door to door. Right. Baki, anyone else who would be able to answer it out? I'm waiting. Two is unnecessary. Very good. I'm like quite good about this. His father would rather die than. तो two ये नहीं लगेगा. His father would rather die than beg from door to door. So yeah, two is unnecessary, and simply it would be C part is the mistake, right? So here would rather के साथ हमें जरूरत नहीं है infinitive लगाने की. I've given a list of it कि जैसे not only के साथ but also आता है, lest के साथ should आता है. If you say अगर आप hardly या फिर उसके साथ वो पहले ही negative है, positive use होगा. If I say dislike word है, harass word है, embarrassed है, उसके साथ टू नहीं लगता है. ठीक है, तो these are the list which I've already provided you out. So you need to understand it. Now see, I prefer reading books to watching TV. We have already done ना, prefer के साथ टू लगता है. Today I would prefer to read a book rather than watch. अब rather than के साथ टू नहीं लगा, rather than के साथ then के साथ टू नहीं लगता. ठीक है, so this you need to remember it out. Do the 20th one. In the question, sentences are given with the blanks with an appropriate words. 4 are given. Choose the best. Now again it is from sentence completion, and the part is like sentence completion is there, and it is basically based on your preposition. What would be there? You will not be allowed in the film festival in case you have a photo card, unless you have a photo ID card. If you have a photo ID card, whether you have a photo ID card. So this was something you were asking me out, like कि unless कहाँ लगता है ma'am, whether कहाँ लगता है, if कहाँ लगता है. तो this is a question which you were asking out. क्या लगेगा? B option, B option. Everyone is getting the right one. It is unless. Very good. Now see, these are the general questions which are expected. Like such questions would be there. You will not be allowed in the class film festival जब तक तुम्हारे पास photo ID card नहीं होगा. तो जब तक के लिए क्या आ जाएगा? Unless word आ जाएगा. This is very appropriate and right one. Clear? So आपके पास अब आ जाता है like unless means except on the condition. जब तक तुम ये नहीं करोगे, I told you ना, unless you work hard. If you don't work hard, you wouldn't be able to clear up the exam. तो सिचुएशन के लिए आ जाता है. मेन क्लॉज टू कंप्लीट अ सेंटेंस. Unless you want to turn yourself in privately, she will be sick unless she stops eating fast food and all that. So this way you can have the criteria. Until और unless में क्या फर्क आ जाता है? Until is basically to talk about a point in time. If you don't reach, like if I say I waited until 6:30 but didn't come, ठीक है, आज मुझे रात को 9 बजे तक काम करना पड़ेगा. I have to work until 9 tonight. So this is a way. Until is for basically a time period, and unless is basically for a condition, or you can say for a result and all that, right? So again you have unless is there as long as you study, you will do well. ठीक है, जब तक तुम पढ़ते रहोगे तब अच्छा होगा, unless again a situation. So this you need to understand where which of the words and which of things you need to practice out. Now next is there, again it is from your sentence completion and it is based on your models. Like one or two would can be from the models also, that you just have to have a basic idea, like should, then you can say where everything needs to be used, ought to, may, might, shall. क्या आएगा इसमें? We dash respect our parents and teachers. We may have to, we will respect our parents and teachers, we shall and ought to. एक तो shall का usage differentiate याद कर लो, shall और will में. Will होता है whenever you are very sure about something. Shall is when there is a possibility and you are not sure about something. Shall is used with basically with I and we, and with rest will is used, right? And one more thing you need to remember it, जैसे shall आ जाता है, if I say I shall go to market today, so there is a possibility I shall go, I might not go, okay? I will do this work, I will do it, तो इसमें आ जाएगा this is a completion, this is my 100% की है, मैं ये पक्का ही करूंगी, तो that is your will, that is your completely you're into it, and here that is just a possibility. Now tell me what would be there. क्या वोट कर रहे हो सारे जाने? B option, C option, D option. B option. We will respect. हम करेंगे, हम करते नहीं है. If you have to tell your friends and all that, we should respect, right? अब देखो should, must कहाँ पे आ जाता है? देखो should is also for advice. Must आ जाता है when is we must respect our parents. We must, but in case you don't, suppose you don't, right? So आपको कोई टैक्स तो नहीं लगेगा, right? We must follow the traffic rules. क्यों? नहीं करोगे तो टैक्स लग जाएगा, चलान कट जाएगा, कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, है ना? या आपको जेल भी जाना पड़ सकता है. Some kind of a clause and all that. We must is for something legal implications, should is for advice, and here ought to would be there, that is for some kind of a moral duty. में भी जब हमें किसी को advice देनी है ना, we go for ought to. We ought to respect our parents and teachers, right? So here you can have an idea. Ought to is used over here. Should is obviously I told you कि हमें क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. He should not smoke so much. मतलब our general advice कि मत करो भाई smoke. Used to this, or you can say you should take a break and get some rest. Just an advice, like I'm advising you. नहीं भी करोगे, smoke करोगे भी, तो your आपका नुकसान है, आपको कोई चलान या कुछ भी पैसे नहीं देने पड़ेंगे. Ought to is implies for moral obligations, like not used in the negative. ज्यादातर you ought to call your mother more often. अपनी मम्मी को कॉल करा करो, फादर को कॉल करा करो, बात करा करो. Just an advice, basically for the positivities. Had better is you would better pay your taxes on time. That is just for some kind of a consequence. अगर नहीं करोगे तो आपका नुकसान होगा. तो that is had better. This is very rarely asked. Okay. Now again, should is for same way. Ought to मैंने आपको बताया था, जैसे ought to, ought not to, you ought to study harder. एक moral obligation है और positive है. Had better, I would better study for the test or I'll fail. Situation है, नहीं करूंगी तो मैं fail हो जाऊंगी. And you should not talk so much. तो ये भी advice है, लेकिन should जो advice है वो negative के लिए भी use हो सकती है. Ought to जो advice है वो basically positive के लिए होती है, right? So it's a good idea. Had better problem to face and danger. Now again, spelling question is there. Very important. Spelling is a third question, right? So tell me which is the, select the incorrectly spelled word. कौन सा word यहाँ पे गलत है चारों में से? Soldier, beginning, shining, guidance. Which one is wrong? Now see, spellings is that part where we do not focus much, but we get good number of questions from spellings, okay? And it can be in your error spotting also. Sometimes you get a question, you have to mark, you have to spot the error, and it can be on the basis of spellings also. We do not pay much attention on it. What is that? D. Shining. SHINNING. Are you sure about it? Soldier, beginning, ठीक है? Do it fast. Everyone should answer. Like how many of you will participate? Even it's better for me also. It's just a 1 hour class. You should practice more. Like questions को एक तरह रखा करो कि हमने हर week कुछ questions past के practice करने ही करने हैं. Previous हो गए या कुछ भी हो गया. B option, guidance. Now see, very good. Here soldier is the right one. Beginning is the right one. Double N needs to be there. Shining, single N needs to be there. That is also right. Guidance is wrong one. Why? It is wrong. GUIDENCE. ENCE, right? Here it is ENCE. तो guidance वाला spelling गलत था, ठीक है? तो you can just note it down कहाँ पे हमारी गलती है. Guidance होता है help, beginning आपका सही रहेगा, ठीक है? Next you have is in the same way. It is about your sentence completion and it is also based on your phrasal verbs. Now same way, call off, call down, call out, what would be there? Due to heavy rains, बहुत तेज बारिश हो रही, the match was call off, call off, call down, call out. Last time हमने एक sentence किया था. See, now there are tactics. In the previous year, yesterday, what I had done in the last class, they had the options call in, call off, call this. So see, this is a repetition. That is why I'm telling you out. Focus on your previous year. Focus on the options because they are just taking out the option same, just changing the sentence. If you had the idea of all these, you will be able to do it. So due to heavy rain, the match was called off. Very good. Now it was called off. मतलब खत्म, cancel हो गया था मैच, बारिश बहुत ज्यादा हो गई थी, and उसके लिए off हो जाएगा. Call in अंदर आना, ठीक है? तो call out हो गया, call up हो गया. तो you need to understand where you need to use the right usage. Call down is when you are provoking something. Now you can note it down also where the things are used. Call off हो गया किसी चीज को cancel करना, ठीक है? You are leaving that thing. Call down हो जाता है when you are causing or provoking someone or something to appear or occur कि आओ मिलो मुझे, some in that way, right? So when you are in a fight or something, basically तो कहते हैं ना कि बाहर मिलियो मुझे या कुछ इस तरह से. So you are called down at that situation. Call out is when you summon someone to deal with an emergency or provide a service. किसी को बुलाया जा रहा है किसी सर्विस के लिए, किसी आप कह सकते हो हेल्प के लिए, that is to call out someone. And call off is what is we had to better call off the barbecue because of the bad weather. Cancel out, postpone, wherever the list goes. Okay, so this is a way where you need to use call off, call down and call out. तो ये भी लिख लेना साथ साथ में कौन सा phrasal verb कहाँ पे लगेगा. And phrasal verb से देखो we get third, fourth good question from phrasal verb. Sentence completion में भी phrasal verb important part है, miss मत करना इसको. Now you have the next one. Tell me which one is a misspelled word. Like spelling problem is there and we have got 4 options, right? तो इसमें से spelling गलत किसके हैं? Aerobics, choosers, battered, eternity. Where is the problem in the spelling? Choosers, battered, B option choosers, choosers. Everyone is answering choosers, right? Okay. You are answering me, everyone is answering me choosers. Fine. Battered का मतलब क्या होता है? Eternity का मतलब क्या होता है? Now do add it in your vocabulary also, I'm telling you out, ठीक है? Battered और vocabulary or you can say eternity का क्या मतलब होता है? That you need to tell me out now. See, तभी I am telling you out. Previous year को करने के भी सिर्फ इतने से tactics हैं कि आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा उसके options पे भी focus करो, right? So if you focus on all the options, like options में, suppose in this year you get a question that is based on the topics only, right? So you will be able to get a good idea of it. Now, battered is simply when someone is pushing you or you can say harming you. Blow ups, आप बोलते हो कि एक दूसरे को मारना, है ना? Punching someone, so that is your called as the battered. Eternity होता है, yeah, the way you told is immortal, चलता रहे, कभी खत्म ना हो, so that is eternity. Choosers होता है choose करने वाला, like if I give you 4 or 5 options, then you have to choose amongst which one is the best one. Aerobics is obviously you know about it, that is an exercise. तो इसमें option कौन सा गलत है, अब कौन सा spelling गलत है? Everyone has pointed me out. B option. B option. Choosers. No, battered is wrong. Double T comes in battered, right? तो battered आएगा BATT, ये याद रख लो, BATTERED. So these are already which I've discussed. Eternity होता है long lasting, everlasting. Battered is when you're punching someone and you can harming someone, right? So that is battered. Now the last question is there. Do this one. In this question you have blanks and you need to fill it out. Like which is the most appropriate option among these blanks? Which is the most appropriate option? Now see, in this way you would be able to enhance your vocabulary if you go through the options. Nothing goes off mine and all that, but it's better for you. When my mother entered the house, I dashed sleeping. I had been sleeping. Now this is very important because I know many of you will make a mistake in this. When my mother entered the house, I was sleeping. Very nice. Now everyone is right. जब मेरी मदर, देखो एक ये याद रखना, सिंपल पास्ट लगेगा इसमें. Why? Because it is a situational. जब वो घर आए, मैं सो रहा था, right? So here it would be simply your I was sleeping. One is your past continuous and one is your simple past, right? And one more things, now I'm going to jump on certain rules and then we can have a recap, right? So have been or had been, एक तो ये आपको चीज नहीं पता. What is the usage of perfect tense? Perfect होता है when you have started something, like I have been teaching you since long, right? So that you can tell. मैंने पढ़ाना शुरू किया था और मैं अब भी कर रही हूँ. When a task has been started in the past and it is still going on, we use perfect tense, right? Had is when you have finished that task. Has and have obviously based on, you can say, gender. Like it can be your noun, singular noun, plural noun, and something that has started in the past, still going on, and something that started in the past and it has ended now, right? So I have known my best friend for 30 years. एक perfect में हमेशा since और for का use होता है. तो जब भी अगर spotting error में question आए ना since और for के base पे, तो go for वो perfect tense होना चाहिए, and they would knowingly give you a sentence which is past, simple past, and they would use since and for. So you need to be very smart कि हम वो check कर लें. Had been, I had been living with my parents before I moved here. अब वो खत्म हो चुका है. I had been working in Paris before I got this job. Why? Because the action has been completed now. That is why this is the difference between had been and have been, right? Now you have different type of tenses. The ones who are very unclear about the tenses, for them I'm just figuring it out. Like what is that? आपके पास tense है past, present and future. Like I just say the students, tense tension है किसी चीज की, किस चीज की tension होती है? Past की होती है, present की होती है, future की होती है. तो past tense में हमारे पास क्या आ जाता है? Simple past. Simple past में we'll just go for the second form of the verb. He uploaded videos on YouTube. Second form आ गई. प्रेजेंट में क्या आ जाएगी वर्ब की फॉर्म? फर्स्ट फॉर्म प्लस एस या ईएस. ही है तो आपका क्या आ जाएगा? अपलोड्स आ गया. दे होता तो क्या होता? अपलोड आ जाता. ही विल बी अपलोडिंग. विल बी इज देयर, लाइक बी आ जाएगा, साथ में विल लग जाएगा फॉर द फ्यूचर वन. Same way, if it is continuous, ing would be there, right? He was uploading, is uploading, will have uploaded, right? So it is for the future continuous one. Perfect had, has, wahi cheez would have been. Same way, perfect continuous. So kya aa jayega? He had been uploading videos on YouTube. He has been, and he would have been uploading videos on YouTube. So just remember the basic idea. Verb की कौन सी form लगनी है, ठीक है? तो verb की second form, and the first form, right? Now you have general rules for this also. Should, I have already explained you. एक आप problem करते हो could के लिए. Whenever you have to enter the class, when you were in the junior classes, you used to say, na, can I come in? No, it is may I come in. Everyone pointed you out. Can showcase your ability कि मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ, क्या नहीं कर सकती हूँ. I would decide ना, if I can walk and I can walk, I can talk. That is my ability. I know better. I won't ask you कि आप क्या कर सकते हो, आप चल सकते हो या नहीं चल सकते हो, right? So can is for the ability. May is for the permission. Could is the politest form of asking also, right? So could you please give me your pen? Could you please help me? Could you help me out? So that is also for, you can say, past में भी है, plus politeness के लिए भी could का usage होता है. I have the day off tomorrow. Great, we could spend the day at the beach. We could go for shopping. So that is for possibilities, suggestions and requests. तो याद रखना could कहाँ है? Would is for obviously the imagination result. If I were rich, और जब भी in spotting errors, this is a rule. If the sentence starts with if, it would be if I were a doctor. If I will be a doctor नहीं होगा. अब sentence है if I were a doctor, I have done this and that. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं होती तो ना, तो वो पास में पहले होती तो आज कर पाती वो चीज. If I were a politician, if I were a prime minister, if I were a president, whenever thing comes in your imagination, if I were, if I will नहीं होता है. ये चीज अच्छे से याद रखनी है, कौन सा रूल कहाँ पे लगेगा. So these are your models also and some certain rules, right? So now I will have a quick revision of all the things we have done in today's class. कहाँ से टॉपिक्स आए हैं, the ones who have joined late, I would just let you know कि sentence completion को please अच्छे से करना. Sentence completion में भी phrasal verbs हो गए, prepositions हो गए, उन topics को just mug it up. There will be nothing else would be asked. Sentence completion based on preposition, conjunction, tenses and the phrasal verbs. Next important topic is about your spotting errors. Then you have the topics like अगर आप spellings, synonyms, ये आप पे खुद पे है, ठीक है? You can do it and you don't do it. Now you have again, इसमें क्या था? Than का usage था. First you just consider it out. Your problems are there, just let me know first thing. 19th question is there. Okay, we will be using whose, वो वाला explanation. Okay, any other problem to anyone? Because otherwise I won't pause, I will just have a quick recap. Any other problem to anyone? जल्दी से बताओ, फिर I'll just quickly revise it out. Okay. Now, again, I'm just starting it out. The ones who joined late. तो Dan हाँ, तो हमारा क्या some movies are even dashed in this. Comparative degree लगना था. Good, better, best होता है. क्या हो जाएगा? Bad worse first, तो worse आ गया. Next was your same way I've just explained it out. Next was house कि आपकी कौन सा है unknown author के लिए क्या यूज किया जाता है. Previous year questions हैं ये सारे till 17. ये चीज याद रखना. Okay. So आपका unknown author के लिए क्या आ जाएगा? That would be anonymous. Magnanimous होता है जो बहुत easily आपको माफ कर देता है. Meritorious is when you are giving, gifting, rewarding someone. Androgynous is when it's a combination of male and female, right? So that is what we have done. In the next, we have done the question. Misspelling was there. Fearful was wrong. Fearful में single L आता है at the last. Shearing is removal of the skin. Rebounding is when you are to bouncing back आ जाता है. Astounding क्या आ जाता है? When you are in a shock or surprise. And fearful is जब आप डर जाते हो किसी चीज के लिए, right? Next you have the sentence that was grammatically correct or incorrect. तो ये आपका लास्ट में भी था. I don't tell you कि इस पे फोकस करो ज्यादा because that would be on the very on spot you have to do it, right? So bring me that pot of hot spot. That would be right. Next you have again the sentence completion. You must have faith in your parents, right? तो faith in होता है trust होने के लिए. Again we have discussed some of the prepositions. You can have a list of it. स्पेलिंग्स में मिस्टेक थी, कहां पे गलती आ रही है? एक्नॉलेज, एक्वायर, एक्वायरेंट, एक्वेरियम. एक्वेरियम में थी क्यू के साथ हमेशा यू आता है, ये चीज नहीं भूलनी है. ओके, सो वेयर इट वाज, एक्वेंट क्या आ जाता है आपके रिलेटिव्स के लिए यूज होता है. एक्नॉलेज होता है एक्सेप्ट करना एंड एक्वायर होता है किसी स्किल को अडेप्ट करना. ठीक है, एक्वेरियम सबको पता है, दैट इज टू कीप अ प्लेस वेयर फिशेस और यू कैन से वाटर एनिमल्स आर केप्ट. नेक्स्ट यू हैव द एंटोनिम्स ऑफ ब्रिटल. ब्रिटल इज समथिंग दैट कैन बी ब्रोकन वेरी इजीली. इमोशनल हो नहीं सकता. ब्रेकेबल ऑब्वियसली वो भी ब्रेकिंग है, ये भी ब्रेकिंग है, बी ऑप्शन नहीं था. रेसिलेंट इज जो बहुत चीजों से क्रॉस हो सकता है. फ्रेल इज फॉर अ वीक पर्सन लाइक एन ओल्ड मैन एंड ऑल दैट, राइट? सो दिस वाज दैट. नेक्स्ट यू हैव सिंटोनिम ऑफ एंड्योर. एंड्योर मतलब होता है सहना. तो हियर इट इज सफर इज द वर्ड वेयर यू कैन से इट इज टू एंड्योर. Next you have is which part of the word contains an error. So it is whose name did you write in the diary that day. तो it is your whose name. इसमें whose ये वाला नहीं आएगा, WHOSE वाला आएगा. जो मुझसे पूछ रहे थे who पोस्ट ऑफ एस कहाँ लगना था, ये कैसे था, वो ज्यादातर कैसे होता है. जैसे अब मैं बोलूं आपको, यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग, आई के साथ एम लगा देते हैं, है ना, या फिर आप लगा देते हो हैड के लिए क्या लगा देते हो, डी. तो दैट इज जस्ट अ शॉर्टकट. हु हैज डन दिस, who has name, whose name is written. तो इस तरह से नहीं लगता. ठीक है, whose is when you are speaking to someone. तो वैसे compilation है of two words, right? तो इसमें whose आएगा, WHOSE वाला आएगा. Next is your let us forget dash problem for a while and enjoy. अब us है तो क्या आ जाएगा, our problem is there and that would be there for a while and enjoy ourselves. ठीक है. Next आपका क्वेश्चन था I used to be a pilot because there is a situation. Then you are telling us I know all about flying because I used to be a pilot. तो आपको ये फ्रेजियल वर्ब आपको याद रखने हैं. यूज टू मतलब जो भी पास्ट हैबिट है आपकी, एक्टिविटी है, उसके लिए यूज करते हैं. सिनोनिम ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस. इन्फ्लुएंस मतलब क्या होता है, कोई चीज हम पे इफेक्ट कर रही है, आप पे इसका इन्फ्लुएंस क्या आ रहा है, आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे क्वेश्चंस, यू विल बी एबल टू स्कोर गुड. सो दैट इज इन्फ्लुएंस इज इफेक्ट, राइट? नेक्स्ट यू हैव इज करेक्ट प्रेपोजिशन. देयर इज समथिंग स्ट्रेंज एंड एक्साइटिंग अबाउट दिस मैन. तो प्रेपोजिशन मैंने बोला बहुत अच्छे से करने हैं आपको. नेक्स्ट यू हैव द क्वेश्चन अब प्रेपोजिशंस अबाउट कहां पे यूज होना था. आई टोल्ड द स्टूडेंट्स टू टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट, कहां पे अबाउट लगेगा. You gave numerous interviews, none of the companies offered you a job. तो भी आपको जॉब नहीं मिली, that is आपको yet you were not. Yet is for something negative unless मैंने आपको बताया था आपको क्या आ जाएगा, सिचुएशनल के लिए आ जाएगा. although के साथ हमेशा yet लगता है, although बेसिकली सेंटेंस के स्टार्ट में लगता है. so के साथ आपका that लगता है बेसिकली, so के साथ as भी लगता है, but it is on the exceptions part. Now you can again have that list. कहाँ पे कौन सा लगेगा, for reason and for addition. nor मना करना, but is contrast, or is for an option. Yet आपको बोल दिया कॉन्ट्रास्ट के लिए, so is for result, right? Next again the same list you have in it. My performance in 12th exam was the what would be there, let down for my parents. मैंने उनको निराश किया, disappoint किया. तो these are also the phrasal verbs which you need to take into account. कौन सा लगेगा. My teacher announced that fundraising were dash voluntary task. Voluntary होता है आपकी मर्जी से. It is completely you can say वॉलंटरी टास्क, बाकी सारी चीजें आपको क्या बोलिए कंपल्शन को पॉइंट आउट कर रही है. So same thing, we have a discussion on this also. It is only 10 minutes past 10 in my watch. In my watch नहीं होता है. It is by my watch. What is the time? By your watch. क्योंकि time घड़ी के ऊपर नहीं है, घड़ी के अंदर नहीं है. It is going alongside. So it is time by your watch, right? Next you again have it is the most beautiful. अगर आ जाता है superlative degree है adjective का, तो obviously we will go for the. The would be there. Article problem है यहाँ पे. It is the most beautiful painting in the gallery. तभी मैंने आपको a and the के टाइम बताया था, कहाँ पे a लगेगा, and लगेगा, and the लगेगा. And this is very important क्योंकि एक ना एक spotting error आपको article के बेस पे आएगा, because they are just checking your general basic English. Next you have rather die. Rather than वाला रूल था, rather than के साथ to नहीं लगता है, तो यहाँ पे to लगा था. This was a problem, right? Next you have is again the question was there, you will not be allowed in the film festival unless, now that is a, you can say आपके पास एक शर्त रखी गई है, अगर नहीं होगा तो आपको एंट्री नहीं मिलेगी, right? Next again, until is for time, unless is for, you can say, conditional. We dash respect our parents and teachers, we ought to. Moral obligation है, moral obligation के लिए आपको क्या कहते हैं, ought to लगता है. Should is also for advice, but it can be negative advice also, it can be a positive advice also. Clear? So this was all the list जो मैंने आपके साथ डिस्कस किया था. Misspelling word है, तो here guidance is wrong. Guidance. That was a rhyme. Next you have is due to heavy rains the match was again a phrasal verb. Call off आ जाता है, मतलब cancel करना. Again I have discussed all these words, like call down होता है किसी को धमकाना, provoke करना. Call out होता है कि मैं summon कर रही हूँ कि भाई गलती मेरी है, तो that is call out, right? Next you have is again misspelled word. Battered was there, the misspelled word. Battered होता है किसी को मारना, punch करना, you can say harming someone. Eternity हमेशा के लिए, choose करना. Aerobics that you already know कि आप join करते हो जो. Then you have is when my mother entered the house, I was sleeping, right? So here we have a discussion. Have been, had been कहाँ पे लगता है, perfect tense कहाँ लगता है. एक चीज I am repeating it out for the ones who joined late कि जब भी ये याद रखना, have been हो, had been हो, कोई भी चीज हो, perfect tense है, वो चीज पहले से चली थी और अभी तक चलती आ रही है, right? Then you have the general commands like where should would be used, could would be used, and would. तो could is for the politest form, past के लिए तो है ही, but politeness के लिए भी है, ठीक है? So thank you so much for attending the class, and I hope all the problems are resolved now. तो ये questions की अच्छे से practice करना. Next week again we will come and we'll bring more of the questions, same previous year and many other questions, right? So yeah, in this week I would try, but it's already like I guess one session 1 week. Practice should be there. We can think over it, okay? So next we'll meet up and take care. All the best. Keep preparing. Do not worry. Bye-bye.